What's up, folks? How you doing out there on this Wednesday, hump day, as they call it, February the 12th? Hopefully you are having a fantastic week. I am. I am enjoying myself this week, having a very relaxed week. And so I thought I'd pop in on this hump day and just share some views. If you don't know, I'm Lee Black. I am the full-time host of Real Talk for Real Men. We air live on Saturdays. We used to do Wednesday and Saturdays, but we air live on Saturdays. So please join us. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And I've slowed it down a little bit in anticipation of some things to come. So in my interim, I'm not coming on Wednesdays on a regular basis. I've got some things in store that I'm coming back bigger, badder, blacker in 2025. But that's not why I tuned in tonight. So if you tuned in, I wanted to talk about something that's happening on social media. And of course, me being the opinionated SOB that I am, I wanted to give my take on it. So having a moment with myself, Lee Black, I came to talk to the folks tonight about the Kendrick Lamar halftime performance. Folks, unless you've been living under a rock, this thing is still going. Long after the Super Bowl has ended and NFL is gone, we are still talking about Kendrick Lamar, K. Dot, the man himself, and about his halftime performance. And so, being that this is not going away, it's only right that I have something to say. CC, grown woman, don't try me. I appreciate you. She says, did you bet against my Eagles? I did. CC, just so you know, I went with my head, not with my heart. Like many other pundits, I found it hard to go against Patrick Mahomes, but all of that bullshit talk about the GOAT, we can table that until he wins at least 2 more Super Bowls, which means that my man TB12 Tom Brady is, as always, the true GOAT. But I did go against the Eagles, but I couldn't be happier for them to win. My brother himself from another, Mr. Kendrick Sports Hustle, part of the TFG family, the baddest mother of in the game. If you haven't subscribed to this man's channel, he breaks the news even before Shams on ESPN, before Stephen A. Smith. That is the hardest working man in business, Mr. Kendrick Sports Hustle. Make sure you check this brother out and subscribe to his channel. For sure, for sure. Green Woman said that green suit he wore did him in. Probably it did. It was bad luck. It could have been bold. But I want to talk about Kendrick Lamar, this halftime performance. So let me get right off the bat that when the show aired live and I posted my initial reaction, I stand by it. I did not particularly enjoy the halftime show. For me, I came into it looking to be entertained. That is why I watched the Super Bowl. There is enough pain, misery, fuckery, and foolishness that goes on in regular life. I have been watching the Super Bowl festivities from 1 o'clock that day. And even though I'm not a Kendrick Lamar fan, I was front and center for the Super Bowl halftime show, and I was expecting to be entertained. Kendrick Lamar had other ideas, as I'm so told, and being enlightened. And so when I posted on my own social media platform that I thought it was not that special, I was hit with a barrage of people to no short of letting me know that I had missed the boat. It went over my head, all these other good things. Now, here we are, 3 days removed from it, and I'll tell you what I've been saying recently. I have come to appreciate his performance more now than I did in this initial moment. Was I entertained? No. Am I a fan of Kendrick Lamar? Hell no. I still don't get his music. As my brother from another will tell you, Kendrick is an acquired taste. So if you're a fan or you get him, you probably was able to, his message resonate with you in ways that it just did not fall with me. Now, here we are removed from it. Let's talk about the fact that his message, the imagery, the subliminals, they're still carrying on, folks. And so if you notice on the bottom of my ticker, I'm asking a question that I asked on Monday on TFG Tonight with Brenton Hayes. And for those of you that don't know about that show, TFG Tonight with Brenton Hayes that airs on 8 p.m. Central Standard Time is by far the best show on social media. Maybe I'm biased, but you get everything there. And we had a lively discussion about this. And the way we did it was the way you should have a discussion. It was between articulate, intelligent adults who was able to articulate their different points of views. And I want to give a special shout out to my homeboy from Memphis, Tennessee, Dr. Brian Walker, who on his social media platform also ushered in that same type of dialogue where you saw educated people having a vigorous conversation about the Kendrick Lamar, and they were staunchly defending their views without being disrespectful and agreeing to disagree without being disagreeable, which is the bedrock of my show, Real Talk for Real Men. So I want to talk about it here. Grown Woman says a lot of people did, Lee. I watched it live again later. I got the messages later. So yeah, so you like me that in the moment, and for me, it didn't go over my head. I understood some of the imagery. I won't sit here and tell you that I understood it all, but that's not what I tuned in for. Now, in hindsight and in retrospect, I appreciate it more now. CC says, great show on Monday, great topics and great people. She's telling the truth, folks. So real quick, let's talk about some of the things that Kendrick's show was all about. And for those of you who may be watching, feel free to chime in, and I put the link as well. You can always join me live. I ain't scared. I'm like Stephen A. Smith. Come on and say what you got to say. Having said that, one of the things I've come to appreciate, which looking at it now, Kendrick Lamar made such a bold statement with the first sitting president ever to attend a Super Bowl live. Now, some of you might be wondering why was he the only president? If you look at the semantics and the logistics behind having a president at the largest sporting venue of the year, that's why they don't attend. It's projected that Trump attending that venue will cost the taxpayers anywhere from $15 million and up. That's why. Because certainly that money could be spent on better things, and you would think a president would have more important shit to think about, especially when the price of eggs is $8. But Trump is Trump. Trump is a narcissist, and like a narcissist is, a narcissist does. So he showed up to try to take some shine away from it, also to basically represent the base, and that's what he did. I ain't mad at the man. He did what he did. So, Grown Woman says that part. Mr. Kendrick says it costs $25 million for the convicted felon to attend. So there you go, folks. And trust and believe that money comes out of our pockets. We paid for him to sit up there and shine his face and do whatever he did. But let's get back to Kendrick Lamar. His performance basically was meant to dismantle and counteract what's happening in our society right now, where we are witnessing two Americas. We are witnessing literally us trying to be returned back to Jim Crow era, where Trump and his administration is shredding the Constitution. They are impugning people of color and women, making sure that they stay in their role as inferior. He's dismantling all of the gains that we've made when it comes to the LGBT community. DEI has taken a major hit, and corporations are lining up to support this president. And so what K-Dot did is he said at the very beginning of this performance, you got the right guy at the wrong time. And this is where my respect for him has grown. Where he could have used that big stage of 135 million viewers. Folks, did you know that Sunday Super Bowl, Kendrick Lamar's performance in particular, was the most watched Super Bowl ever? It topped Michael Jackson. In fact, more people stayed tuned in to K-Dot's performance than the game itself. Because if you watch the game, it really wasn't a game. KF's Kansas City got their ass mollywopped. That's another story for Mr. Kendrick Sports Hustle. But the game itself, many people tuned out. but even those who don't like K. Dot watched. And so the conversation has continued. 3 days past. There are those who love it, got the imagery. They can tell you how it resonated with them. There are those like me who didn't necessarily appreciate the entertainment value, but are coming to believe that what he had to say was absolutely relevant and important. And there's the other side that is hearkening to many things that they believe showcase reverse racism. So this conversation, folks, it's not going away. It is not going away. Grown women talking about some of the results of this. Target is losing money because of the DEI initiatives, along with Walmart, Sam, and many others. And she's mentioning, yes, they did love it too. And whether they loved it, CC, they damn sure watch. So real quick, let's mention a couple of things. Samuel L. Jackson coming out as the so-called ringmaster. Now, whether you want to interpret that as he was Uncle Sam or Uncle Tom, you decide. Some of the things that he said in between those performances issued in a little bit of both. He was dressed in red, white, and blue with the top hat with stars, signifying Uncle Sam, but his words kind of talk like Uncle Tom, which is what this administration is basically saying to not only Black people and people of color, but especially to athletes that shut up and play the game. You're too Black, you're too loud, you're too this, you're too that. And Samuel L. Jackson played that very well. Some of the imagery that his dancers made, whether they looked like a PlayStation controller or they mimicked the Squid Games, it sent a real broad message about how this administration is certainly trying to stifle the creativity, the rights, and trample on us, and how the rich, the billionaires, are in power and they're getting enjoyment out of watching the others suffer. Hint, Squid Games, folks. Pay attention. The imagery was there. Those dancers, they were decorated and adorned as the American flag, and K-Dot, Kendrick, performed in the middle of them, signifying a divided America. And I have long touted on TFT Tonight with Brendan Hayes that we live in two Americas, folks, always have. We're told when we're young that we can grow up to be anything and we can have it all. Folks, when you're Black, I don't care if you're rich and you are a billionaire, there is a limit on how high you are allowed to rise. And it's happening in real time, folks, in front of our face. And K-Dot, he basically, the imagery wanted you to see that. There was also some references to being pro-Palestine protesting. We know that the Trump administration is dealing with literally trying to gangster Gaza Strip and saying, fuck them, I'm going to take it anywhere, fuck, the rest. That's how he does things, folks. And then, of course, you had the overall view, which the song was a hype towards Drake, And so we had references where he performed his number one song, They're Not Like Us. And if you listen to the lyrics of the song, it's going a lot further than impugning Drake in a rap battle. It's talking about a whole lot of other things, hence bringing out Serena Williams, bringing out other people to dance to it. So there was a lot going on, folks. Do yourself a favor if you haven't, and again, living under a rock, dig into it because he definitely had a lot to say. Grown woman says he showed the division of America spelled just like I wanted, 0. So yeah, there's a lot there, folks. With that said, now what? The main reason why I wanted to come on tonight and give my take on it, what happens now, Black people? As I mentioned on Monday night, there are people that set out to do great things. Think about those individuals that tackle climbing Mount Everest, sailing around the world, swimming the English Channel, braving the waters of the Nile, spending nights in the desert, and all of those things. And I've often sat back in the comfort of my bedroom because I am a fat Black SOB and I'm not doing none of that shit. But when I see that person brave the elements and finally make it to the top of Mount Everest to plant their flag and stand in glory looking out over Mount Everest, I always have thought to myself, and now what? Climbing the mountain, what does it get you? More than, I guess, the personal perseverance, what is the point of it? The time you spent tackling that issue, would it not have been better spent doing something for society, bettering your family, humankind, or hell, go feed the homeless? But there are many people out there, they find all kinds of creative ways to do nothing. That's why their hands are soft as baby shit. But let's talk about us, folks. This is about us. Since Kendrick Lamar's performance started a revolution, as he said, what now? What do we do now, people? Because if we're only going to continue to talk about the fact that how great it was and how deep it was, and he's the laureate poet of our generation, and he's the greatest lyricist, fucking what? Now what? Even for Kendrick Lamar and his camp. If you're going to rest on the laurels of sitting and setting forth such a powerful message, where you're going to sit back now and smoke your blunts and drink your drink and pat yourself on the back that you did that, homeboy. Man, you showed them. And yo, you dope as fuck. Now what? What do we do now, folks? In case you don't recognize, we're headed back towards Jim Crow era. Now I'm 57 years old. And I came right behind that era that is responsible for us having all the rights we have right now. It wasn't me and I didn't sit on any buses, but my brothers and sisters did. My mama marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. She literally marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. My family is from Meridian, Mississippi. My third cousin is J.E. Chaney. In case you don't know who J.E. Chaney is, because many of us don't know our own fucking history, the 3 civil rights workers that were slain back in 1967, think about the movie Mississippi Burning, that's my family. My family, they marched. They got locked up. They got beat with billy clubs. They got water hoses sprayed on them. That was the generation where the greatest leaders were born out of. That's where Medgar Evers comes from, people. That's where Martin Luther King came from. That's where Malcolm X came from. And in case you're thinking that was some long lifetime ago, that's current, folks. That's in our lifetime. You see, Donald Trump and the billionaires that are running the country, these are older white men that's in their late 70s and 80s. And they still remember a good, easy time when we were niggas and boys and kept in our place. They remember a time when women didn't vote and women was in the kitchen. So, folks, we're only talking about 40 years removed from the civil rights era. And so I'm talking to the young generation now. If Kendrick Lamar's message was so powerful and it truly resonated with you, and you understood the imagery far more than I did and went over my head, now what? What happens now, folks? Because if we're not going to do anything with it, then what the fuck are we talking about? My brother Kendrick from Sports Hustle says, agreed. What now? Will we unify as Black people? Probably not. We had jealousy and envy amongst one another during the civil rights movement. And if you read the comments today, we still can't stand. And you know how I know he's telling the absolute truth? When we start killing each other, when we start using the weapons that they have supplied for us to destroy ourselves, then talk to me about how powerful his message is, as Brother Kenny say. Because if you're not going to pull your fucking pants up and act like somebody and actually become self-empowered, what difference does how powerful the message is? Grown woman says, absolutely, they want to take us back there today. We are being taken back there today. And they're counting on the fact that one thing about Black people is we're divided. We don't stand together. And for those of you who think you're more woke than the others, that wokeness is what put him in office for a second term. So what now, folks? Grown woman says we have to put in the work and stop the nonsense. They would have us believe self-hate is a mother. Self-hate is a mother. It's been indoctrinated in us since they brought us over here in chains, and most of us are still in chains. I'm not talking about physical chains. I'm talking about emotional chains. You see, folks, we're talking right now about having a blackout day on February the 28th, where they're asking us for one day as Black people to boycott spending. Don't go to these companies and shop and show that our economic power means something. So your Amazons, your Walmart, your Target, your Google, because that list is growing, folks, of people who are rolling back DEI initiative, McDonald's. They're asking us for one day to stop shopping. Well, why one day? Fuck the symbolic. Truly stand together. Truly band together and stop spending our dollars on fuckery and foolishness. Black people spend more disposable money than any other group on this planet. Even to close that K-Dot war. Now, I ain't mad at him because he's a fucking millionaire. He's worth $140 million. But the rest of you motherfuckers who are fronting and stunting on social media, you're going to run right out and get those Celine jeans that he had on that cost $130. Meanwhile, you sons of bitches, most of you are living in roach-infested apartments. And even those of you who live right here in Atlanta, who live in Buckhead, 3-4 an apartment, driving fancy cars, but can't pay your own fucking rent. The shit is absurd. The shit is absurd. So forget one day. How about banding together to truly show some economic power? Because back in the 60s, when they refrained from riding on the bus, that's why we can ride on the front of the bus now. Because the sit-ins, the boycotting of the buses made the powers that be shake to their very core and recognize that they need Black people. Mr. Elon Musk, who owns X, folks, we live on there. Why hasn't some of our more powerful people like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry started their own social media platform and really bring us all over? Because the reason why TikTok is so powerful and famous is because of the Black content makers. You're the ones on there shucking, jiving, twisting, jerking, shaking your ass, only to have the others emulate and imitate and make more money than you. Right now, we have a social media site called Fanbase. Most of you have never heard of it. I only heard about it tonight. But it gets no pub, and that's because it's not being pushed and marketed by anybody with any voice. But Oprah and the others could talk about everything else. And we're quick to bury our own. Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, P. Diddy is being crucified. And some of us who have the power to speak up and say something about it, we should be putting out the similar content to fucking Elvis Presley. You know what I'm saying? John Wayne. You want me to believe that P. Diddy is a monster, but Leonardo DiCaprio, who only dates young women, is any different? Get the fuck out of here. Kendrick's on the Sport Hustle say on Point Black. White folks sit back and say, see, them ninjas don't even like nor love each other. So how the hell would they ever unify? You're absolutely right. Grown woman says, we have spending power and don't even know it. CC, how the fuck, who do we think has made Louis Vuitton and all these people famous? We're the ones walking around here with that shit plastered. We got to make sure that we Gucci'd and Coach bag down and this, that, and the other and can't live without it. You don't see white people walking around with that shit because they depend on us they know we're going to fucking not pay our rent so that we can drive the latest and wear the latest and greatest. And in a city like Atlanta, where we shine and shine and shine, hey, this is what this city is all about, entitlement and how it looks. And yet, we celebrate that fuckery and foolishness more than we do education. For anybody mad that he's rolling back the Department of Education, the truth of the matter is we're not going to school like we're supposed to anyway. Black women do. But us black men, we don't go to school. We don't place any importance on education. My brother Kenny says, I'm not on X and will not describe because of must. Bravo, my brother. So even if you can't do things collectively, individually, take a stand. CC said, I've heard of it from some of my friends talking about fan base, folks. Folks, Valentine's Day is coming up on the 14th. Now, far be it from me to tell anybody what to do for Valentine's Day, because not only do I not have a Valentine, but even when I did, I never subscribed to it anyway. I never liked the idea that a day could dictate what I'm going to buy for somebody. When I did have a shorty on my arm, whether it was a wife, a girlfriend, or one of the nasty 50 bitches that I dealt with, if I was going to get you something, you was going to get it whenever I gave it to you. It didn't have to be dictated by a day. I bring that up because on Valentine's Day, do you know more flowers and candy are sold on Valentine's Day than any other day of the year? Do you know that these stores literally make their budget on Valentine's Day? Your Walgreens, your Kroger. Right now, starting tomorrow, every fucker with legs is going to be buying sad flowers, buying chocolate, buying candy. And some of you bitches, you're going to find out over the next 2 days whether you the main squeeze or not. You're going to find out whether you Barbara or whether you Shirley. But which one of you ever you are, you'll probably get something with your funky ass. I digress. But I brought it up because forget about one day, folks. What if we collectively decided to withhold our economic dollars when it really mattered? Since they've now taken Black History Month off of the Google calendar, Google is telling you it no longer recognizes Black History Month. So if they say fuck you, how about we say fuck you back? My brother Kenny says, LOL, not my lonely ass. I ain't buying nada. That's my brother from another, in case you don't know. CC says in Philly, we are Black-owned florists who's been in the business 52 years, and I get all my arrangements from them, and they still. So if you're gonna buy, thank you, CC, why not support Black small businesses, which his economic policies are squeezing the life out of right now? Folks, you don't have to go to the big places. We got it. We got it. And McDonald's, why the fuck y'all still support McDonald's anyway when them sad, mushed up ass burgers continue to go up on the price and the quality has continued to go down? And now they have told you that they don't give a damn about your Black ass. Oh, and by the way, I would be remiss if I didn't bring in my Latino brothers and sisters. Fuck you too. Right now, they're experiencing a big economic downfall. Who you think is suffering? Because they rounding their ass up, and Latino businesses are failing. And it's not that I don't love you, my Latinos. Coño. But as my brother from another say, you asked for this. So I'm going to keep walking my fish and swimming my dog, as he would say. Black folks, sit this shit out. Let these 100 days go past, and then let's pick ourselves up and let's make a real stand. If Kendrick Lamar's message was so powerful, make it count, people. Do something about it. You can't tell me that his halftime performance that was watched with by 135 million people, now making it the #1 Super Bowl ever, that if it's only going to fall on deaf ears so that you can brag and taunt and flex yourself about who the fuck Kendrick Lamar is, then what the fuck is we talking about it for? If you're not going to do anything about it and make it count, and you young people especially, stand up and let your voices be heard and start to lead for real and be better to each other, to see Summer Walker, SZA, whoever the fuck she was, come out there and perform, and we're talking about how crystal clear her voice was and her outfit. Well, if you can get your point across in that kind of outfit, then why are you showing your ass every time you look up? Why are we hailing and putting on pedestals songs like Wet Ass Pussy and Brokey? Why are we putting on the pedestal the stupid, dumb gangster bitches that's getting their titties pushed out and their asses pushed out, but then want to be called the queen? If you really queens and you really are internalizing his message and it means something, how about go the fuck up and put some clothes on? And you wonder why I call you nasty, filthy, no good bitches. And for the record, I'm not talking about all women, but let's not kid ourselves. Not every woman is a queen. Not every woman is out there hustling. The world needs bitches just like we need shoes. And I love them too. And I'll drink to that. So anyway, my brother Kendrick from Fort Sussel says, do black owned. That's right, CC. Patronize black owned businesses. CC says they are really feeling the crunch, but you get what you asked for, and they are seeing it, talking about my Latino brothers and sisters. So I'm telling you, folks, let's sit this one out. This is what you asked for. We gonna survive. We always do. You can't defeat us. Cream rise to the crop. We're the most innovative, creative motherfuckers on the planet. Let's act like it, people. Oh, shit, there is my beautiful niece. She said, you on his show out, Aunt Baby. Thank you for joining me. I got to speak on it, baby girl. It's your generation we're depending on. My niece right here, that's one bad little mother. Let me tell you about my niece, and she's doing it in real time. My niece has a master's degree. She make more money than I do. She got her own place. She flaunts a little shape and do a little thing. I ain't mad at you, baby, but she don't dress like a hoe. And she's making it happen. I need my brothers to elevate your game and do the same. And I'm not saying everybody have to go out there and get an education, because education, when I say an education, I'm not talking necessarily about the 2 degrees sitting behind me. I'm talking about reading, educating yourself up here. Those pieces of paper, they open doors for me to have opportunities, but I've been educated long before I went to school. Education and intelligence is 2 entirely different things. And some of you motherfuckers don't even know the slightest thing. Some of you don't know the days of the week because you got the technology and you literally are walking around with a computer, but you won't use it to find out basic things. And I'm talking in this case, especially to my men, my brothers, my black brothers. If you're not going to step up after touting K-Dot and really fucking become better to yourselves first, and then be better to your children, better to your women, then close your fucking lips about how great K-Dot was. I don't want to hear that shit. CC says we are survivors, always have been. We know the struggle. Right now, eggs is $8. I got a fucking dozen of eggs in there. Me and my niece joke tonight. I can't waste them bitches. I can't go ball 4 eggs every day like I used to. I got to save them motherfuckers for when I really need them. So be smart, people. Make better decisions. Make this vision, this revolution that we're claiming that he started, make it count. And I'm not talking about for no one day. If what he said was so gosh darn powerful, then folks, let's act like it. Because if the performance is that great, I need everybody to go and really look at the imagery, look behind the words, see what he's trying to say. And if this is a real movement, ask yourself that one crucial question: now what? My brother Kenny says, I don't have a college degree, but damn it, I can go toe-to-toe with anyone because I have knowledge, and that man ain't lying. And if you don't believe me, tune in on Mondays, subscribe to TFG with Brenton Haynes, and you will get we the best motherfucking panel out there. The Breakfast Club ain't got nothing on Brother Kendrick, Lady D, the host himself, Mr. Brenton Haynes, and myself, Lee Black, because you get religion, politics, social commentary, entertainment, fuckery, and foolishness all in one place. And it's done with an intellect that you just don't see anywhere else. Grown Woman says, Jill Scott Heron told us in the 70s, the revolution will not be televised. And how true that is. Folks, let's move in silence. Let's do some real shit. We don't have to be so loud and broadcast our steps, but fuck one day, let's organize and be together for once. But it starts in our own communities. I've been saying this before the election. I really don't give a damn who the president is. I'm never going to eat with those fuckers anyway. These are white men that they don't pump their own gas. They don't give a damn about the price of eggs. They don't care. It starts with smaller local elections. Vote some of these fucking people out that don't have your best interests at heart. Make a difference in your own community. And even if you stand neutral when it comes to sport, make better decisions with your economic dollars to show that you are part of the revolution. And you don't have to do it in a loud way. It's the way we carry ourselves. It's the way we treat each other. And it's the decisions that we make. So I'm Lee Black, and this is my commentary. So I hope this conversation continues about Kendrick Lamar, but I truly hope it goes far beyond us just talking about the surface value of it. Because if we're not going to do anything with it, if it's not going to produce the next generations of Black Panthers, Marcus Garveys, Malcolm X's, and Martin Luther Kings, then I need you to shut the fuck up. Grown Woman says, and don't forget, no matter how small the office, your vote counts and can change things. Amen, amen, amen. My brother, I'll let you have the last comment. He said, damn, you came like the Eagles versus Chiefs tonight, brother. Bravo. Thank you, my brother. I love you. I love you. I respect you. And I hope you guys take to heart what I'm saying. Sometimes things come out of my mouth. It's a little harsh, and that's just my way. But I hope you can look past that and see past some of the messenger and listen to the message, because it's all done in love. I promise you that. I'm Lee Black. Hopefully I'll see you on Saturday. Peace.